Welcome to No Small Roles. This is the show where I speak with fellow actors about their careers and about some of those smaller roles that they've had in big movies and TV, and how these roles are, in fact, not at all small for the actors who play them. Now, today's guest is my friend Callie Beaulieu. She's a crazy, talented firecracker of an actor and a joyful hug of a human being. She is pure magic and so lovely to be around. And I'm grateful to call you my friend. Callie, welcome to the show.
Same.
Thank
you. It's an honor. Ian, it's an honor to be here. And it's an honor that you are my friend, honestly.
Oh, stop. You stop. No, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad we could finally make this happen.
Wow. So it's kind of been months in the making, huh?
It has. And we're going to get to some of that in a bit. People know you from, you've done countless book narrations. You were on Law and Order, Organized Crime, Best Medicine, Stumble, Founders Day, The Girls on the Bus. But before we get to that, I need to ask you a very important question. You may have seen one of these before. It's an emotional question, can set some people off. Do you have the tissues? You have tissues? Okay.
I'm prepared.
Do you prefer grilled cheese with or without tomato?
Without.
Always.
I'm a withouter.
Okay, a purist.
Yes, I am a purist. And I'll tell you, can I tell you a funny story about
I would love to hear it.
Without tomato. When I went to college, obviously you're living dorm life, right? You don't know how to cook. I was learning how to cook. I was functioning on my own, right?
Ramen noodles.
My roommate and I, obviously late night munchies, and we learned how to make grilled cheese with our iron. So and I was away from home. And when I grew up, my mother always had Arnold bread in the house. So when I went out on my own, I was so excited to buy Wonder Bread because I'd wanted Wonder Bread my whole life, right?
Because we were always told we can't. It's so junky.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was like, so my roommate and I would buy Wonder Bread and American cheese slices. Again, not something that was in my home. And butter. We had our little mini fridge.
Oh, sounds so good.
We would take and we'd butter the bread. And then we'd put the cheese, obviously, blah, 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 put it all together. And then we'd wrap it in tin foil and we'd take our iron and we'd iron one side with the tin foil and then we'd iron the other side. And we'd had little hot pots and we'd make tomato soup in our hot pots. And we would sit there like 2:33 in the morning doing grilled cheese and tomato soup. So
that sounds like heaven. Those sound like the best grilled cheeses.
It was so funny when it worked. And all right, I'm just going to say it. Like, it was one of those moments when you're really stoned and you're like, whoa, I bet you we could use the iron.
You smoked marijuana?
Oh, the horror.
I'm calling the police.
But it was so funny because it was one of those totally random stoned late night moments of like, the light bulb literally goes off above your head and you're like,
we can iron it.
We could iron it.
Whoa. That actually sounds really good though. Like that sounds like what this grilled cheese looks like.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah. Okay. So that is like that's like the purest form of grilled cheese. Yeah. I'm with you. I am so with you. Now so actually you had this in Connecticut. You went to school at UConn, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Why didn't you invite me for the grilled cheese?
Because I didn't know you then, Pisces man.
I was in Connecticut though.
Right. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I forgive you.
Paths crossing, man. They cross when they're supposed to.
And finally they have. So you grew up in Mystic, Connecticut. You are now back in Mystic, Connecticut. You've been to Mystic Seaport. You've been to Mystic.
I worked at Mystic Seaport.
Okay, so you are smart. You've been to the aquarium.
Yeah.
You've been to the old Mystic Village, which isn't actually old. So you're a very intelligent person. Wait, what they call it? What?
My parents call Old Mystic Village because it was built when I was a kid, and my parents call it Plastic Mystic because it's not really mystic, it's plastic,
It's
so
cool. It's cool. It's good. It's got like a movie theater. It feels like an old village, but you can tell it's like made in the early 2000s when you were a young child.
Yes. No.
Yeah. So being so smart, because you are from Mystic, why are you an actor then?
Yeah, that's a great question. No, I knew and I know you hear this from a lot of people you interview, but I kind of knew really young that I was going to be an actor. Even before I think I was conscious that that was something you could do. I was
Yeah.
I know this will be a shock. I was super dramatic as a child. And so whenever I would get all ramped up and get really dramatic, my grandmother always used to call me Margaret O'Brien. And she'd be like, all right, Margaret O'Brien,
Wait,
old,
why? I
old
should know.
Old Hollywood actress,
Okay.
child actress. So I kind of knew that that was the direction I was going in pretty early on. I used
Okay.
to reenact Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
I love that movie. Chitty bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
I used to do that, and then I kind of hit my like early teens, mid-teens,
Yeah.
and I knew I wanted to start doing theater. Pretty much, I discovered that there was this thing called community theater, and I was
Hmm.
like, "That's where I'm going." I'd already knew, and it was really interesting because my dad said, "You're not going to start doing this until you're 16 and you can drive yourself." Because they didn't want to take the responsibility for assuming rehearsal schedules and all of that. Like they were like, if you
That's
really want
fair.
this, right, right. And they were like, if you can do this, if you want to do this, as soon as you get your driver's license, have at it. And the first couple of auditions I went to, my dad went with me and they went with me. And then I just started doing community theater.
So they encouraged it as long as you could get yourself there. They saw it was
Absolutely.
something.
Absolutely. They saw it pretty early. I mean, you know what I mean? And I'll tell you a funny story. This is kind of like a reference point for how early it was. When I was in second grade, my elementary school did a production of Snow White, and I was the Wicked Witch in the mirror. And
But you're so nice.
oh, thanks. Acting.
Oh, okay. That's what it is.
So after we did that show, obviously you go out and you're in the little audience, the
Yeah.
audience with your parents. And I was standing with my parents. I'll never forget it. My dad, because I was second grade, my dad had his hand sort of on my shoulder. And this woman came up to my parents and this woman said to my parents, they were like, she's really good at this. She should think about doing this professionally. Like second
Wow.
grade. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it was pretty much ingrained right from the start.
Was it in the family at all? Because I know I ask this question a lot. Or
Yeah.
is it just something that sparked from yourself? Like
No, it
from,
came out of me. There's no, um, like my sister's very technical, she's got a technical brain, and my
yeah.
dad was a very technical man, and my mom, she was really and accounting numbers. She was really good with numbers. So the fact that I was this emotional Pisces actor was completely anathema to the general sort of flow of my family energy, in the best
And
way.
are you good at the numbers though, too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, you can do that. How
I
are
can
we
balance a
friends?
checkbook.
You can what?
I can balance a checkbook.
Good. I'm going to send you hours. We could use your help. Yeah. Okay. So before I move on, I want to ask you one question. We have, as you know, we have the Kiss and Tell segment coming up where people share a behind the scenes story of something that happened behind the scenes. In one word, can you tease what your Kiss and Tell will be about?
It's 2 words, but there's a hyphen.
Okay. That works.
Does that work?
That totally works.
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Ping pong.
Okay. All right. I've got it written down. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Now, okay, so people say when you're young that you're good on stage and Snow White, and at 16 you start auditioning for things. So you start landing more regular local theater opportunities at this point.
Yeah, it became pretty steady.
And eventually you go to college. Are you studying at UConn theater?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was an MFA, so I went and studied theater as my major at UConn. And back then, the program's changed so much since then, But
Sure.
we were very much classics. We spent years on the classics, Shakespeare and the Greeks, and very much Stanislavski. Because it was, look, I'm going to own my age. It was the 80s, so it was very Stanislavski heavy.
Sure.
We didn't get a lot of Meisner. We didn't get a lot of Uda. We didn't get a lot of that. It was Stanislavski and Shakespeare.
Did you like that about it? Did that work for you? The Stanislavski?
Yeah, the Stanislavski worked for me. It doesn't any longer because I've sort of matured and found other things that work.
Sure.
I love Meisner. Meisner works really well for me. But I'm an amalgam. I don't kind of, you take everything and you sort of pick what works for you, right?
I've heard a lot of the more, like yourself, the more professional studied actors say they pick the things that work for them. You don't have to take it all. Some people are turned off by some parts.
Right.
So does that, then you go off to Chicago? Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me, how did you go from there to there?
Well, how I got to jump into Chicago is actually really funny. So, are you from New England?
Yeah, born in Rhode Island, raised in Connecticut, and then escaped and came back.
So I don't know if you knew, but when I was in university, every summer they had a unified audition called the NETCs, the New England Theater Council auditions. Okay. And that was every summer stock in New England that wanted to participate came, and you went up and you did your 2 contrasting monologues, and then you got your callbacks, and then blah, 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 blah. So I booked my first professional job from NETCs. No, it was my second. Actually, my first was not. I did musical theater for summer stock for 2 days, for 2 shows. That was a nightmare. I don't.
I want to know why.
So it was okay. I'll tell you this story.
Yeah, tell me.
So my first professional gig, like signed a contract, got paid the whole kit.
Money.
I had auditioned for music. It was a musical theater season. They were doing Anything Goes and Joseph. And I auditioned, and I had skated by on the singing because, again, I don't sing. Back then, before my voice changed, I had an alto belt that I could sort of Richard Harrison through, right? Okay. So I did this song from Victor Victoria, Le Jazz Hot from Victor Victoria, and I sang it kind of speaky singing it in my alto sexy kitten voice. And then we had to tap dance. Oh my God, I cannot believe I'm telling the story. And I knew who was, I can't tell this story. It's so
you can
now. It's so in now. Okay, please understand I'm telling this story in that it was like 1984. Okay?
And just keep in mind, we can cut out anything you're like, oh, I wish I didn't say that.
Right.
But say it.
They had us do a tap audition, and I knew who was doing the tap audition. Leaned toward, he was a boob guy. So I didn't wear a bra to my tap audition. And I went in there and tap, 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 tap. So lo and behold, I get cast as an angel in Anything Goes, right? I'm super excited. It's one of the 4 girls that follow Reno Sweeney around, right?
Okay.
I'm cast as an angel. I can't believe I booked an angel. And mind you, at the time I had super blonde Marilyn Monroe hair. I was a sight. And so we get to first rehearsal. This is my first professional job. We get to first rehearsal. We go to meet with the music director, and he's like, who told this girl she could sing? And then we get to the dance rehearsal, and it's like Broadway. I'm with New York actors. God. And it's like, we're going to do, you learn the choreography. I was out there.
Were you terrified? I would have been terrified.
You know what? There's fear. I have fear all the time. I'm terrified all the time, but
I think most of us are.
You just charge through it, right?
Sure.
Now, you can charge through it and then you can pull back, but I do have fear. I was petrified. I was like, you want me to do a stomp, hop, step, flap, step, stomp, hop, blah, 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 blah. I didn't know what I was doing. So after the first day on my first professional job, the artistic director scheduled a meeting with me, and he's like, you're being demoted to chorus. And I was like, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah. Woo!
So they promoted a girl from the chorus, and they moved me into the chorus. And then
you put your bra back on. You're like, yes.
That was my first professional experience.
Oh, man, that sounds terrifying. But good for you for trying some things.
I tried. Now I know I don't go there.
Okay. I don't either. So yeah, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so I was at NETCs and I booked my first my second professional job, which was I got paid to do a Renaissance fair in way upstate New York, the Sterling
Fun.
Renaissance Fair.
Okay.
And basically what that entailed was 6 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks of intensive Renaissance training, how to speak in iambic pentameter, how to improv in iambic pentameter,
Sword fighting,
the whole 9 yards. And I was cast as Rosalind in As You Like It. So I would do As You Like It, and I would also be a street character.
Would you do As You Like It at the Renaissance Fair?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
They would do an abbreviated version of As You Like It at the Ren Fair on one of the stages throughout the day. So when I was at this Ren Fair, I met all these fabulous human beings from Syracuse University, and they were just the most incredible humans I've ever met. And up till that point, I had ever met. And they were all graduating and going to Chicago. So I was like, Chicago? And at the time, and this sounds so silly, all my friends were paying $1,600 a month for an apartment in Chicago, in New York, and they were 4 to the apartment. And I'm like, that's too expensive, right? Ha ha.
It is pretty expensive for then.
It was. So then I was like, maybe I'll go to Chicago. But before that happened, my next professional job, I graduated uni in December, and I booked an 8-month contract at Busch Gardens. So then I went down to Busch Gardens, the old country in Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when I met more people from Chicago. And then I was like, I'm going to Chicago. And
I'm
then
sold.
I went,
Yeah.
you know.
And I know you went to Chicago and you were saying that New York, you had friends that were in New York and it was too expensive. Was Broadway something that you eventually saw yourself attempting to get to? Or were you like, I'll just see where Chicago takes me?
No, I wanted to be a New York soap actress.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to be there in New York, living the soap life. I wanted to do soap operas. I wanted to be on a soap for the next 20 years of my life. And I thought going to Chicago would be good because I get some training at Second City. I'd pick up some life experience, and then I'd head back to New York to do soaps. That was my plan. I wanted soaps so badly.
So what happened?
I went to Chicago. I fell in love with the city, and
it's a great town.
I fell in love with the sort of storefront theater scene that was Chicago. And I found a life, I lived in Chicago for 15 years.
What is actually, I saw that, the storefront theater scene. Does that just mean converted stores that have been made into theaters? Okay.
Yeah, literally. And it was like converted storefronts that were turned into theater spaces. And it wasn't, look, Steppenwolf started out as a storefront, right?
Okay.
So before you go, you're not the Goodman, you're not Steppenwolf now. Steppenwolf has a whole complex, but back then you did a little 50-seat theater, or you did a little 100-seat theater, and there were a whole series of proper theaters, but then there were the storefronts, and there was a market for it in the 90s. So many people. You always had audiences. I mean, one show I did was a disaster, but you always had audiences, So
and you're working odd jobs to get through this? And
I would temp.
Okay.
I would do temp work in the city, because you're in the cities. You can temp all the time, right?
Sure.
Any day. I was very lucky and got a bunch of long-term temp jobs. And then even when I went full time, every company that I worked for, and I worked for an investment banking firm, like I worked for some serious companies.
And you could do numbers, so that was fine.
Fine. They would always allow me to be an actor first. So if I had an audition, they were like, take your lunch. If your audition's at 2:30, take your lunch at 2:30. Go to the audition, come back. And then if I book, they would give me days without pay to do whatever it was that was going on. And
that's great.
In Chicago, listen, I made a ton of money doing industrials. I did a ton of industrials in Chicago.
And did you enjoy them? I can't say I enjoy them.
You know what I did? I'll tell you what, I did one for McDonald's that was a hoot. And I had worked at McDonald's when I was a kid, and they were all like, "Oh, you handle those hamburgers on the grill so well." And I'm like, "'Cause I'm
You
trained
taught me to do it.
to."
Oh,
I did one for United Airlines about how to deal with aggressive passengers. Like I played a pilot, so, and then
it's great screen practice too.
fantastic screen practice. And then during the 90s, honest to God, Ian, I made a pretty penny because I had dark auburn hair at the time. I'd left the blonde. I was a dark auburn then.
Yeah.
And I booked so many industrials as Gillian Anderson doing X-Files, X-Files, X-Files.
Oh, yeah.
X-Files,
Was that
X-Files.
the real you, that hair color?
No.
Okay.
I'm natural dirty blonde, or I was a
Okay.
natural dirty blonde.
Okay, so you went dark from the okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I did a lot of X-Files industrials, which were a hoot because some people took it really seriously. Like we'd be shooting at night with fog machines, and it was no joke.
That is so cool. So eventually in this time period, is this when because I believe you found romance and then somehow you end up, I'll ask you, okay, I'll take you, how do you go from this to ice skating?
So about the time I was 30, 31.
Okay, last year.
Yeah, you're kind. I had been literally, and I say this, understand the context at which I say this. I had been working constantly till I was about 30, 31. It was like show after show after show. And it was like
in Chicago.
Yeah, in Chicago.
Okay.
I was like just doing one show after another. And I was always in rehearsals, and I was always doing a show when I was shooting in industrials, and I was working my full-time job. And it was all like a lot.
Sure.
And I got to my early 30s, and I just got to the point where I said, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
I am done. I can't do it anymore. I'd had a really bad experience on an industrial. I couldn't remember the lines. My brain was full. And I couldn't remember the lines. I couldn't remember the lines. It was,
and that stuff is so hard to memorize.
Oh, it was terrible. Oh. And it was a night shoot. And then the crew was all like, come on. They just wanted to get the shot. So the situations like that, sort of, they fester, and then it was pointless, right?
Yes. It just makes it worse.
Yeah. It was horrible. So after that, I was like, you know what? I think it's time for me to quit. And so I quit. I withdrew from AFTRA because I was only AFTRA at that point. I wasn't SAG before the union. Mm-hmm. So I withdrew from AFTRA. I was in the EMC program. So I just said, listen, guys, I'm putting a stopper in my EMC points.
What's the EMC?
Equity membership candidacy.
Okay. So I'm just not a theater person. I don't know these things. Okay.
Back in the day, you used to have to get 50 points of 50 weeks of working in an equity theater to then get your equity card.
Okay.
This is all old school. So I withdrew from the union. I withdrew from EMC. I withdrew from my agent, and I'll never forget my agents. One of them said, if you pull out now, because we were just starting to get commercial work at that point. And
you're in your prime. That's
right. I was a young mom at that point, right? I was doing young mom and corporate. I used to do a lot of corporate stuff,
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, if you quit now, I'm going to make you audition again. And I was like, look, I just need 6 months. I need 6 months off to not think about being an actor. I just got to take 6 months. And she's like, if you take 6 months, I'm going to make you re-audition. I'm not sure I'm going to take you back. And I was like,
thanks for your encouragement and support.
Fair. To be fair, from her perspective, right? Like I was just starting to bring in some money. I was starting to hit my quotas, right? Like, so from her perspective, I understand from a business point of view.
Okay.
Right. So I said, fine. And then I quit. I quit the business completely. I threw out all my scripts. I threw out all my, the accumulation of acting life. The only thing I kept were my scrapbooks, like my archives, right?
Yeah.
I threw everything out and said, I'm done.
So you really imploded within, you just had it.
I'd had it. Had it. And, in some respects, with some people and some things, it didn't end well because it was a total implode. You know what I mean? It was
Regarding friendships and relationships in, okay.
Theaters I'd worked with, it was an implode, right? But I was
Yeah.
done. I was done.
But it was honest. You were being, I mean, I think if you tried to stick with it, it would have been worse.
Right.
From what you were saying.
And that's the thing, Ian. Like, I mean, we're friends. I'm not a BSer. Like, you're always going to know. You're going to know what's going on. You can see it in my eyes, and I'll tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't play around it. Who has time, right?
Yeah.
So I was done, and I was done. So that's how I came to figure skating. Was about a year or two into it. I was like, God, I need to perform.
And where are you when this is happening? In Chicago?
Still in Chicago.
Okay, so you stayed in Chicago.
Yeah, so I stayed in Chicago, and then the thing to perform, it's like it comes back, right? Because it's in you. It's you,
Sure.
It's your DNA, right?
Yeah.
So when a friend of mine called, and she's like, hey, I'm going to take adult ice skating lessons down at McFetridge. Do you want to do it? And I was like, sure. I literally had to learn how to tie on my skates, and you know what I mean, and all that.
From scratch.
And I started doing it, and it hit that performance feel, but it was something that was hard and not easy and took time. And then we started competing, and then I joined a competitive synchronized skating team, and we used to travel around the country and compete. You know, it was crazy.
That's crazy. And did you, at this point, were you just totally acting is so off? Like skating is the thing, and it's no acting, and day job or whatever is what you're doing.
Yeah, it was off the radar. It was permanently, I thought, gone. But
so no regrets at this time.
None.
Cool.
None.
So I'm going to ask you next. So we get to skating, we're competing around, and then how do we get to
Antigua?
Antigua, sorry.
That's okay.
Antigua, I'll fix that in post so I look smart.
I fell in love with my high school sweetheart. We came into each other's lives again, and he and his family lived in Antigua. And it was sort of like we kind of came back into each other's lives, and then there was some visiting, and then I was like, believe it or not, it was like February in Chicago, and we'd had a huge snowstorm, and I had my little Volkswagen Bug, and I'm out there shoveling my Bug, and I'm like, wait a minute, he wants to marry you, and he lives in the Caribbean. Are you insane? So I went.
You mean, are you insane not to go?
I didn't say not to. You know, it's the middle of winter in Chicago. It was like, are you insane? Go. It's a life experience.
And you went.
And I went.
And you said,
I said yes.
Wow.
I said a lot of yeses.
Not to get too personal, but how was that? You're leaving the skating behind, but then you fall into something else when you're there. Yeah. Another performance aspect.
Right. So, and this is being in Antigua the first few years. I mean, the first year I gained 23 pounds because I thought I was on an extended, like all-inclusive vacation. So I was like eating and drinking and drinking and eating and beaching and drinking. And then I was like, I looked like a cherry tomato. But what happened in Antigua is where I was like, I'm going to be an actor again. So I left skating. I moved into Antigua, was in Antigua for many years. I was many years in Antigua at that point.
How many years is many years approximately?
It was about 4 years in. And I started feeling comfortable with the culture and with the dialect and with getting to know people that were outside of the expat community and like living the island with the island life, right?
Were there actor opportunities there for an American?
Well, this is what I'm going to tell you. So I found ballroom, and I started taking ballroom and became a competitive ballroom because it's just like skating. It's just, you got a better shoe, right? So I became a competitive ballroom dancer. Actually, in my division, my partner and Cozy and I became Caribbean ballroom champions in our division. What? Every year we competed.
Was it your intention, or were you like, I'm going to do this for fun? And then you're like, I'm pretty good at this. People think I'm good at this. Is this you in general, though? Because I don't know this about you. Are you a perfectionist? If you're going to do something, you're going to do it the best. Is that you?
I have those tendencies. It's not, it's not that I'm drawn to competition because I'm not, because I actually think competition especially in our industry, can be pretty unhealthy, right? Like there's
Absolutely.
smoking, right?
It's kind of pointless in our business.
In our business, it is, but in other, it's just that it's like, well, it's an endpoint, right? Oh, I'll train for competition. Oh, I'll
Yeah.
train for competition. Oh, I'll learn the tango. Oh, you know what I mean? So it's like it pushes.
Yeah.
So we'd gotten back from our first competition in Trinidad, and we'd gotten back to Antigua, and this woman came up to me and she said, "Callie, how are you?" And I'm Zara. Her name's Zara. And I was like, "Hi, Zara." And she said, because at the time, Antigua was going through a really terrible situation where had a serial rapist on the island. And so things were not good. It was
Oh
unsafe.
God. Terrifying.
And this woman, Zara, came up to me and she said, "Callie, I know this may sound crazy, but have you ever heard of the vagina monologues?" And I literally was like, have you heard of the vagina monologues? And I was like, and she said, "We're doing a production of the vagina monologues because we want to start educating. We want to open the dialogue. Would you be willing to do a monologue?" And I was like, bing, yes.
Oh, so that was it.
And that was it. And then that started it.
How was that experience doing that show?
Tremendous. Extraordinary.
Were you like, oh, there's that thing I put aside.
Yeah.
Here it is. Oh,
it was surprising how much of it was there. And it's like muscle memory, but it's soul memory. Like it's there.
yeah.
And what needed some work was memorization, because that's a muscle.
Of course.
Too.
Yes.
But the power and the monologue I got was super powerful. And we performed. Our first night we performed to 932 people. The second night we had like 1,100 people.
Oh my gosh.
It was incredible. And or similar numbers, something like that, right? So the power of being on stage, doing a monologue, and I went up, and then I was bit. It was like I'd been bit by a rattlesnake. I was like,
were you nervous before, say, the first performance, or no? You're like, this is where I belong. I've done this, whatever.
I knew.
And
it was comfortable.
And like you said earlier, that you went from playing young moms to playing a Madam Shakespeare or whatever. I forget what you wrote, or Lady Macbeth. So how do you've skipped this whole section, you do the vagina monologues, and now you're back in it. Now let's get into it.
I moved back to the States. And when I got back to the States, it was an adjustment period after living abroad. It's always an adjustment period.
Sure.
In Antigua, we drive UK style. So there were a few scary times where I went to drive on the wrong side of the road. My mother's like, "Callie, are you trying to kill me?
You're going to kill us.
You're going to kill us." So I went through the adjustment period, but that switch had been turned on. So I moved back to my hometown where I grew up.
It's beautiful. So why not?
And I thought, wait, I started at the local community theater. I wonder if I should do a show at the community theater. And about a month later, they were having auditions. And I thought, you know what? Why not? I'll throw my hat in the ring. Let's see if I can even do this right at this level anymore.
Yeah.
So it was almost like you had taken my life before, and in some weird depression inducing ways, it was like nothing had happened in my life. And then because I was back at, doing on that stage, the room even smelled the same as it did when I was 16. And I was like,
did you feel like you're giving up, or just kind of like, in a sense, or not?
I felt lost, and I felt like, wait, what happened to all my accomplishments? What happened? I was also, to be fair, I was heading into perimenopause, so things were like skewing anyway. Right?
Yeah.
So I started doing community theater down here in Shoreline, Connecticut, and it became the same thing. Show after show after show after show. But I needed to retrain. I needed to relearn. How do I memorize a script? How do I script analysis? How do I do all this stuff again? Right? Like, so retraining. And how do I embrace where I am now? Because I don't know how to be an actor at this age, as far as like who who am I now?
What would they cast you as?
You know,
Like the,
I mean, at the time I came back, I was, younger than I am now. So I was like,
okay.
I was still getting leads. I was getting Lady Macbeth. I was doing the nurse in Romeo and Juliet. I did
Mhm.
Tamara. You know what I mean? Like I was getting a lot of very powerful, strong women. I got to do the Marquis de Marteuil in Dangerous Liaisons. Like I got
Mhm.
to do that, which was
Okay.
great.
Yeah.
Um, and then sort of through that, um, the audiobooks came in around that time.
Oh yeah. So actually, I'm going to play a snippet from an audio book, and then we will continue talking.
On their own, dyed hair and colored contacts might not arouse misgivings. Coupled with cagey behavior, they were a toxin. Did the woman hear it? When at last he opened the door again, Bram's expression was fiery. "Fuck!" He spat the word, eyes moving fast around the room. "I'll be back. Stay right here. I want to hear all about your day." His grin peeled the lips back from his teeth. My day. I'd spent it picturing those toxic spores spiraling down my throat like dandelion seeds to contaminate my lungs, and shivering despite the room's airless heat, and thinking about my family and wondering if my squad at the 9th Precinct would ever find me.
That voice. That voice. How do you get it? Because this seems like something a lot of people would love to
Yeah.
do. How'd you get into that?
Again, I lucked out through the community theater that I was doing and the productions that I was doing.
Yeah.
There's a company based in Connecticut that does audiobooks,
Sure.
and a co-star of mine was working for them doing
Mhm.
narrations, and she came to I think we were doing Macbeth, maybe, I think, or the vibrator play. I don't remember. But she came in and she said, look, they're looking for actors that are interested in narrating. And so I thought, oh, well, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? I don't want to be behind a mic. That's not what I want to do. So to be honest with you, the first 2 auditions, I ended up not going. I
Really?
didn't go because I was like, this isn't the avenue that I want to go down.
Mhm.
So then I was working at a law firm and I was like, yeah, and I don't want to be going down this road either. So I called a third time, and it's like when you convert to Judaism, it's like three's the charm, right? So on the third time, the producer, the casting director said, I said, look, I'm gonna come in. And he's like, yeah, because you want to do this. And I said, yeah, let's do it. So they gave me copy. They gave me a
Mhm.
nonfiction and a fiction.
Okay.
And I prepared it, and I went into the studio, and I went into a booth, and I recorded it. And then I got really lucky. Within 2 weeks, I had a 13-week contract, and I was able to just start right up doing audiobooks. And then go ahead.
I was just going to say, but this, well, no, well, I was going to say this is your bread and butter now. This
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
keeps you
10
afloat.
years, knock wood. It's
Oh
knock
my
wood.
God.
It's been my full-time job since 2015.
How many would you guess you've done approximately?
I know exactly because I just hit a
Oh,
milestone.
well, tell it.
I have done 306.
That's so much of your life.
I know.
Oh my God.
It's taken me 11 years to do it. It's not like it happened, you know what I mean, overnight.
Wow. Well, that's cool though. Like your whole life is actually recorded, so you can know what you were doing in all those moments for 3.
And look, that early stuff is terrible. Like some of that early stuff is rough because I learned on the job. And it was a different time. Like audiobooks now, to get into it, for anyone who's watching or listening, it's just as competitive and just as different and difficult, and preparation is key as any other avenue of the industry, right? Like, go
Do you
ahead.
still have to audition for it? Or are
Yeah.
they like, oh, let's get Callie because we know Callie?
Well, I still audition for books because
Okay.
authors want to hear the voice say their words a lot of
Okay.
times before you do. So there is still auditioning involved, not all the time, but it does happen.
Okay.
But for anybody who wants to get into it now, it's just as competitive. So it's like what do? You get your materials together. You got to find material, nonfiction and fiction material you like. You've got to get demos made. You've got to learn the industry. You know who the publishers are and the producers are. And, it's just like anything else now. I squeaked in because it was 2020, the industry exploded, obviously, because nobody was on Broadway. Nobody was doing film and television, but audiobooks were still happening.
So you're competing with people with big, big names at this point.
Correct. And you always will. There's a lot of people that do stuff all the time.
Yeah, because why not work from your house if you can, if you have the studio? So how do you, because you do go into film and TV, which I know your dream was always to do, be in a soap. I know you didn't do that.
Nope.
But how did you get into this? How did you meet our friend Renee? Because I assume you met her on set and auditioning.
No, I met Renee through Jamie Tennille and the Actors Playbook.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's
our
right.
world's all like making the soup, right?
Okay, I knew that. I'm a forgetty pants.
Yeah. So we were, and I got into Actors Playbook with Kimi Nimi.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she's great. And so they referred me, and I knew Renee on Zoom, and then we met at the Boston International Film Festival the day Mrs. Osborne premiered and screened.
Oh, yeah, her great.
And it was instant with me and Renee. It was kind of like when you and I met too. It was kind of like, oh yeah, we're instant.
Well, luckily Renee brought us together. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Renee.
But you've gone on to, I'm going to play a short little montage I made of clips that I got from your site and that you've sent me. Hold on 1 second. This is about a minute long, a little over.
Okay.
We have a winner!
Elaine, what's this?
Today's game is Chubby Bunny.
You got 6 more months.
It's just a beer.
It's just my license. I got a cop right there, moron.
Problem here?
No, Finn. He was just leaving.
Really looks like her.
Charcuterie? Can you give one to Felicity? I mean, you must talk all the time.
We are dying to know. Do you like Walker?
Well, I used to love her, but now...
He's in the South Carolina primary in a couple of days.
I'm surprised they let you off the trail.
Yeah, your mom said you'd be on the road to election day.
Are you writing obituaries again?
Oh, why aren't you on the road?
Careful, Grandma. It's very hot. My grandma had a bad fall. She's staying with me now.
I don't know where that angry woman went. She was really on one, and I don't know what was wrong with her, but my Mima's my favorite person. And I just got here.
Serafina next door speaks Spanish. Maybe she can help.
Baby.
Yes, that's what I said.
A B+ is a good thing.
Not if he wants to go for valedictorian, which he does.
Valedictorian.
So how did these opportunities start happening for you? That first clip where you have like the marshmallows in your mouth, that is just you. You were just, I could tell that was acting. You're just having fun. But like that is Callie, everyone.
That was great. Best Medicine was such a great opportunity. And it was just the second episode. So it was so great because they were all, you know what I mean? They were
excited
and learn, they were stepping into it, and Josh Charles is a wonderful human being. And, to me, he will always be Knox Overstreet. So it was like when I was like sharing, he was in Dead Poets Society.
Oh, I saw it once. I need to see it again.
So when we went to our cast chairs and there he was, like, he was like a breath away. And it was one of those moments, we have them. And I know you have too. You have these moments and you think, wow, Knox Overstreet. I get to, wow. You know what I mean? Like,
I do know what you mean.
That was a really special moment for me. Just because of the significance of his portrayal of Knox, like of that movie and that significance of in my lifetime. Do you know what I'm saying?
That movie hit you. I totally get that. And that's where I approach it. And I get excited by it because as the movie fan myself, I saw him hanging out with Ethan Hawke during the strike. They were striking together.
Yeah.
Because they were buddies from then.
Yeah.
But, was that the first of these kind of bigger roles that you...
started, I lucked into Law and Order Organized Crime happened first.
Okay.
And that happened because I had finally gotten representation.
In New York.
In New York. I'd gotten New York representation.
And for those actors that are kind of struggling and coming up through this business, it is not easy to find an agent in New York. How did you do it?
Jamie gave me some recommendations of who to reach out to.
Jamie Tennille, Actors Playbook.
Actors Playbook. And I had done my own research. I did some research. I went on IMDb and did the reverse thing that I think everybody should do because it's very helpful. And it takes time to narrow the list down, right? But you don't want to narrow it too down because it's like applying.
What do you mean reverse?
So you go into who are the actors that you admire? Who are the actors that are doing the work that you like? Who are the actors at your level that are doing the work that you like? Who are the, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I'm not going to go and be looking at Uma Thurman's representation. I mean, come on, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But who is where you are? Who is someone? Because I look at our career as a set of stairs, right? And the beautiful thing is our stairs don't have an end; they're infinite. So it's like every step and every step and every step and every step. So who's on my step and who's on the next 2 steps? Because that's where I want to go. Who's their representation? What's, what does their thing look? And you start calling together a list of what agencies would you like to go to?
And so you start emailing them or going to their websites and submitting that way.
Yep. And my first New York representation literally came from a website submission. I had submitted through the website my materials and they reached out to me within 48 hours. And then we had an interview and I had my New York representation. And it was a big
great to hear it works.
It does. And don't get discouraged because you're going to apply to some people over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
And they get so many submissions. They can't obviously reply to everyone.
No,
so don't give up.
Think about it. All right. Like for all of us, and I know everybody that's serious about this has done casting director workshops and they've done things, right? When the average submission is getting 3,000 to 6,000 people submitted for each role.
Crazy.
Imagine what it's like. That's the role. That's people probably self-submitting. That's pitches. That's everything. But imagine what the agents are getting. Imagine what their numbers are. Like if you think about that in perspective with each role, like they're getting thousands of submissions and it takes time. And what's the law of marketing? You have to be in front of someone 7 times before they start making a click, right? That's the law of marketing. So don't get discouraged. Have I gotten discouraged? Yes. Have I? I call it double clutching. You know, when you cry so hard, you go like
when I was little. Yes.
But you just persevere, right?
It wasn't. Yeah. I mean, hearing your story, I know for myself, it wasn't easy. Getting each agent I've had has never been easy.
So, no, and we share an agent, and I thank you because you were very gracious with that.
You were you went in with a very nice package too, meaning your materials and resume and clips and everything.
I have submitted to them many times. It wasn't the first time. It wasn't the second time. It wasn't the third time with a referral. Do you know what I mean? It was when the time was right. And I think in our industry, it's really hard because the desire is so strong and the want is so strong. And it's hard. And I'm just as guilty of it as many people to live in the moment and say everything will happen in its time. And what's meant for you is not going to miss you. Right. And that's hard. That's wicked hard.
Yeah. You just sounded like you're from New England. It's wicked, wicked had.
Wicked
You didn't say had.
It's wicked
No.
had.
Yeah, and we should keep more important things outside of this business in our lives,
Totally.
so that this business does not drive us insane.
Totally.
So then you go on. I want to talk about because we were going to have you on back in December. There was a film coming out. You were very excited to be a part of. I auditioned for it. I was just excited to be in that room with this legendary director, who I'll let you tell everyone about in a second. But I've had this happen to me. We've discussed this, where you're in something, you're super excited about it, and then you find out you're not actually in it when it comes out. Can you tell us what we're talking about now?
Ella McKay. It was Ella McKay. And the win really for that, the win really was getting the call back in the room with him and Francine Maisler. I mean, who?
Oh my God.
Right,
Yeah.
Francine Maisler.
Legendary casting director.
A legend. But let me tell you, the whole experience through was full of legends, right? So going in for the callback, and Melissa, thank God, from Boston Casting was on the camera, because seeing her calm me down, like, just know, because Melissa's energy, you know what I mean? And then
Angela on the camera.
Well, Angela, so Melissa was on the camera, and then Angela was behind her, and then Francine Maisler, and then James L. Brooks, and then various other folks.
James L. Brooks.
And you know what? He's a doll. So I did the prepared scene. They gave us a scene before we went into the room. So then there was like this scene we had to do. So we did a prepared scene. Then we did it on our feet, cold read. And then he's like, okay, this is what Francine whispered something to him. And then he said, okay, he's like, all right, so I'm going to give you the setup. And then I'm going to have my team start throwing stuff at you. And I want you to just look at the camera and react to it.
Can I ask you one thing? This is, I know for myself, this was my first in-person audition in years because the pandemic. Same for you?
My first.
Kind of scary, right?
Well, it was petrifying because it was my first time back in the room, and it was my first studio feature.
Wow. Huge.
So, so it was a lot riding on this. And I know I talked to you before.
Yeah.
I was just like,
understandably, it was amazing.
It was so great because then I could feel I had already made James laugh, Mr. Brooks laugh a couple times. So I could feel, I was like, all right, our energies work together.
Yeah.
And then I started doing this stuff where they were throwing stuff at me and then looking at the camera and giving my answer. And the whole premise, I think we can talk about this now because the movie's well out.
Yeah.
Ella McKay gets caught having nooners with her husband, and she's not allowed to have these nooners.
What's a nooner?
A little family time.
I think I know.
Family time, mom and dad time. So she's having nooners because she doesn't have time now that she's governor. So then my character that they were having me read for, I think they read me for a bunch of things. They wanted to figure out where to put me.
Sure.
Was a woman on the street, so, what do you think of, Governor McKay and the situation in, with the nooners, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
The word is. And I had to react to that, right? Mm-hmm. So, they're like, oh, your husband wants to come home for lunch every day. And I was like, yeah, now my husband wants to come home for lunch every day. Woohoo! Thank you, Ella McKay. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like one of those, right?
Yeah.
But I made him laugh, and it was genuine. And I think that if I had left and that was it, that would have been it, because to make him laugh is the win, right?
I didn't get any reaction, so that's way more than I got.
But then I booked it. Woo!
I know you did book it. And you filmed it.
I filmed it, and it was a great day. Mr. Brooks was actually offset that day. He was directing remotely. That day because various reasons, but he was directing remotely. So I did it. We did it. We did a couple takes.
Was that challenging? Was he like over?
It was over Zoom. It was all, I just shot a Christmas film. And all the crew, they have the Video Village feed on their phones now. So
okay.
you can watch exactly what's happening. You don't have to be in Video Village anymore.
Oh, that's
Like,
amazing.
You can
Okay.
watch it right on your phone from wherever you are.
Yeah.
And there was a remote thing happening. But I'll tell you what I learned that day. I had done it the way I did it in the audition because they had asked me to do it exactly like I did it in the audition. They wanted that level, that joke. So then the DP stepped away, everybody stepped away, and Seth was like, unless, we got it, unless you want to try something. And everyone had stepped away. And for the first time ever, I said, you know what? I do want to try something. I do.
Good
and
for
he
you.
said, okay. And he brought everybody back. He brought the DP back, everybody back. And I said, this is what I want. Because in the original version, I was like all excited that my husband comes home. Yay, he comes home for Nooners now. You know what I mean? So I said, I want to try it. Like, oh, Christ. I only like to give it to him on his birthday. Right? So they all started laughing. So we did it. They gave me the line. And so I did the exact same line. Like, you've got to be kidding me. He comes home every day now. And they cut and they all burst out laughing.
That's
and
amazing.
It was like, I never even thought of it.
Oh, that's great.
Way. Like, how funny, right?
Yeah.
So I was super excited because I was like, I wonder what version they're going to put in the film. Like, is it going to be the original joke or is it going to be and then it didn't happen.
Though you were aware, because I know we talked about it coming out, you're like, if I'm in it, you always knew there was this possibility that you wouldn't be, but especially in such a big film. Yeah.
There's always the possibility. I mean, and because we've talked about this, there's always the possibility you're going to get the floor. It happens.
It's happened so much to me.
Kevin Costner got cut out of The Big Chill, right? Like, can you imagine?
No.
I use that as perspective. Like, yeah, it's devastating. And to say it's not devastating and disappointing.
Especially at our level, because we want to get those big moments, those big things. These are our resume. These are our calling card. But though it's still on your resume as it should be.
Yes. Yes. And my management actually wanted me to put it on IMDb as uncredited because she was like, look, you did
the job.
You were on the job. She's like, I am very comfortable and want you attached, even though it's uncredited because you did that.
Same for me, and the judge is on there. It says uncredited. Looks like we did it as background work, but we were really in it.
But that's okay. You know what I mean? Sorry, it's hot.
The movie did not do well. It cost $35 million. It made under $5 million.
Yeah.
Crazy. It's sad. But I think it's because you weren't in it. I think that's the reason.
Wow. Thank you.
Mr. Jimmy
and
Brooks.
You know what? I got to meet legendary costume designer Ann Roth. Ann Roth was the costume designer on that. She's legendary. I mean, she's done everything. And whenever I see her name, like my heart like swells. And
you're like, it's my colleague now.
She and I had such a great costume fitting and we had such a great thing. And, she was in her chair. She was in her sort of like her wheelchair. And she had me walk over and I'm not kidding you. She was like, you look like Meryl Streep. And I was like,
okay.
I could eat you with a spoon.
Wow. That's not a bad compliment.
No. So that was pretty good.
So I want to talk about, because I think that's a good place to kind of transition to your kiss and tell. Can you tell us about ping pong and why ping pong is important to you?
So again, and this is a great transition. I don't even know if you know it. I got cut out of another film called Birthright, which was this fabulous film.
Okay. I saw a clip that you sent me.
Yeah, horror genre. And when I got to do Birthright, I was very fortunate because I got to do a scene one-on-one with Michael Chernus, Severance, all that.
Okay.
And I have never, that was a big
opportunity or
scene partner to be playing with. right?
Mhm.
And I have a great deal of respect for him.
Mhm.
And he's incredible, right? So we got on set and we're doing our scene. And I know that Pam Morgan talked about this in her interview with you. The director gave us both our notes separately in our ear so that we wouldn't
Oh,
know
nice.
what was going to happen.
Mhm.
And the ping pong that happened was at a level that I have never experienced.
Oh, that's the
Like the
best.
level of being in it with both characters. And it was this small, intimate scene, and it was dark. And I never knew what he was going to throw. He didn't know what I was going to throw. And
Because of these notes from the
because
director.
of the notes, because we came in, with our start, and
Yeah.
then, just started going with this scene. So no one knew. We didn't know what was going to happen. And the ping pong was at a level that at that point I had never experienced anything like it.
Oh,
Like
that's the
it's
most
like,
satisfying feeling.
yeah, it's like those moments where it's like you got the Willy Wonka golden ticket. Like you're just like, holy cow, this is what this can be.
That's the thing we chase. It's that
Right.
high of it. Yeah.
Right. Like this is what this can be. And it was extraordinary. So afterwards, because I'm very emotional, I'm very in the moment, and I'm not someone like I don't have a filter and I wear everything on my sleeve. Right.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I was so blown away by the experience. Like just talking about it now, it almost chokes me up. I was so
get it.
blown away by what had just happened in this little tiny 5 or 6 line.
It's so
scene.
exhilarating.
I was like, what? Because it elevated the craft for me. I saw the craft at this point that I had never experienced it before.
Mm-hmm.
I go off set. We're both, taken off set. I literally ran up to him and hugged him and went, oh my God. I was like, you give so much. Like, and he's like, he didn't know how to react because I was so effusive and I was so truly blown away by what had just happened. Do you know what I mean? And then that scene got cut. That scene got cut from the film, but they added it in the Blu-ray release. They added it to the deleted scenes in the Blu-ray release.
I guess maybe sometimes the witch don't wait.
No, it's not that. It's because of who she is.
Right.
It must have been a boy. Just to have that moment with him for me, because now you know, right? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And then when you can play ping pong like that, you're like, you become Gump, Forrest Gump you're going. Right.
Exactly. And you got it, though it's not in the film, you got everything and more from that experience alone. Who cares if it's in the film? Of course, that'd be cool.
No, but that's why you got to let yourself have the 10-minute, 2-hour disappointment. When I did Ellen McKay, Renee was with me. I was disappointed. Like I was
understandably,
right?
Understandably. Yeah.
Let yourself have the disappointment. Let yourself have it, own it. But then you still got those great experiences, right? And that's why we do this, really.
Yeah. No, for sure. Because that's what's going to matter in the end. Whatever. I find out this week I did a big commercial last month, and it's going to be this huge 4th of July commercial, but they took me out for a couple of takes on set, and they're like, there's a possibility for, I can't say the reason on here because it hasn't aired, that you may not end up in it, but for a national commercial, that could be a big financial difference in pay. But we'll see on 4th of July if I'm in it, but I'm prepared for the disappointments as this business usually does to us.
But you know what, though? It's the resilience, right? It's the
exactly. It doesn't matter. I had the day on set.
And that's what I think, and I'm telling myself this as a reminder as I'm saying this. our careers are built on experiences, all these experiences. That's what builds the career. And you have to have the resilience, and you have to
For
have,
sure.
because part of the reason I didn't have a career in my 20s was due to the fact I didn't see it as a business. I took every disappointment as a personal slight, and I was so naive.
Sure. And most
Right?
actors do and still do take it as a personal slight, and it's hard. You
You
really just
do.
have to let it. That's why a life outside of it is so important. Speaking of that, do you have advice for up and coming actors? Something that you wish you had known coming up in it?
I think I would say, remember, it's a business. It's a business. When I was young and up and coming, in my brain, thought it was going to be an MGM movie. Someone was going to discover me in a play in Chicago, and I was going to, ha-cha-cha. And I didn't understand what the business was. I didn't understand how to even do it, treat it as a business. I didn't know. And so I think it's really important, especially with if you're coming out of university, drama school programs, they're training you to be a theater artist. They're not training you to be a film and television artist. And I think it's really important for all these young up and comers, even these late bloomer up and comers, right? Like all us, late life up and comers. It is a business. It is a business, and you got to handle it like a business, and you got to roll with stuff like a business.
And don't let them walk all over you. Know your worth, right? And stand up for yourself.
Right.
But absolutely, it's a business. When you get onto a set, do you have any sort of thing you need to do to get in the zone, a hocus pocus, or I don't know, some trick to just be where you need to be?
And I haven't had to really be someplace. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
like emotionally or whatever.
Right. Like your journey in Shattered Ice. Like, I haven't had to walk on set and be there.
Oh, Renee.
Right
geez.
there. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't had to walk on set to be there. I just do my prep as much as I can, be prepared as much as I can, and listen, pay attention, and be ready to go. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You still have nerves. I try to shake my nerves out in the dressing room.
Everyone does, I think.
And
I can't think of someone that doesn't.
You have to. And thank goodness, every single project that I've been on, they give you rehearsal. Get your nerves out in the rehearsal. Get your nerves out in the rehearsal.
Yeah.
I'm
kind of jealous. I don't get that much rehearsal. Darn it.
Oh, I've had rehearsals, which is great.
That
you
is
know what I mean?
so
They
great.
sort of work it out. And then I usually solidify in the wide. If they do the wide first, my whole, like, everything goes.
Yeah.
In the wide.
You get it out. You shake it out. Yes, that's the place to do it.
You know what your business is going to be. So, kind of like, because then now you're in it, right? You know what your environment is. You know all that. You've done your line work. You've done your character work. Now you're in it. And then once you do that sort of wide, the rehearsal and then the wide, and then you go, oh, okay, this is where I am.
Yeah. That's great. That's great advice. And I see that works for you as well from seeing your work.
Well, thank you, Ian. That means a lot to me.
No, thank you for joining me. Is there anything else you would like to share, or something that we didn't touch on that you wish we had and still can?
No, I think that's kind of really, really it.
Most cherished moment, or have we kind of done that? Maybe that is that moment.
I mean, there's been a lot,
Okay.
what I mean?
That birthright moment's pretty spectacular.
I would say dream. Like, I know you asked some people, like, what's the dream? Like, for me.
Yes. Yeah. Ultimate.
If I could work with Taika Waititi, I'd lose my mind.
Do a Jojo Rabbit too.
Jojo Rabbit still is my
so
top
good.
3 of all time. Like, Jojo Rabbit is my top 3 of all time.
It's up there for me. What
it's a masterpiece.
Tight wire rope. The fact it works is amazing.
Amazing. That's where I discovered Taika Waititi was Jojo Rabbit. And then
That's
I
beautiful.
dive into like, what we do in the shadows and all that stuff.
The
all
wilder
that.
people.
The wilder people. I love his aesthetic. I love his eye. I love the way he sees life.
His sense of humor. Yeah.
His sense of humor. That is sort of like bing.
That's that's a possibility. You could possibly do that. He's very much working. You're very much working. And a lot of people, you came back to it later, as you said, and a lot of people give up in this business earlier on because they're just so burnt out. But you came back, and so you'll be around to be hired by him.
Yay!
And your other dream is to be on set with me and Renee. With Renee and I, with me. I don't know.
Us. It can't happen fast enough. It can't.
There we are on set.
I can't wait to see the new project. I'm really excited. Just
our uplifting little drama.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
You guys do uplifting dramas really well.
Oh man, she is a crier and a half. Can you cry like that? I bet you can. I can't cry like that.
Good.
Yeah, you're really good. Thank you so much for your time. Anything coming up you want to promote or talk up before I let you escape?
Sure. I got my first Christmas movie. I finally got my Christmas movie.
What's it called?
It's called The Trouble with Mistletoe, and it's going to be premiering July 11th for Christmas.
That's
in July.
So soon.
I know, in 2 weeks.
Okay, congrats.
On the Great American Family Channel.
Awesome.
And it was a great shoot. It was a lot of fun and wonderful, wonderful people on that shoot. So that's coming up. That's a biggie. And
congrats on that, by the way.
Verticals, so I'm waiting to see what happens with that.
How did that happen? I hear people getting these. I don't even tell me.
It was supposed to be something else it was a project that was supposed to be something else. And then it got turned into a vertical, through the evolving of it. And it was great. It was, great people to work with. Quick, in and out, boom, 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 boom.
For people that don't know, because if my mom watches this, a vertical basically refers to your phone and its vertical shape, and they make videos based off of people like streaming on their phone, like on TikTok or whatever, right? Or Instagram. Yeah.
Instagram. What was during 2020? Was it Quibi? They started this. They tried to start something like this during the COVID. I think it was Quibi.
I don't know.
And it just didn't work. But now they have figured out a good formula. And it's most verticals shot are non-union. They're not.
You could do a soap. That's how you could do your soaps in one of these verticals.
Oh my God. I didn't even think about that.
Right? It could happen. The dream may live on.
I'm telling you.
Taika Waititi will direct it.
They're still shooting General Hospital. They're still shooting stuff.
Are they?
It's all the soaps are done in LA now. Nothing's done in New York anymore. It's all in LA. But
looks like you're moving to LA. That might be the only thing happening there. There's not a whole lot anywhere.
I know.
But
it's sad.
Oh, last question. Self-taping or in-person auditions? What do you prefer?
Self-taping. I am a self-taper. Well, I think it might be because we're both Pisces and we're both empathetic.
I think I'm the other one. I was born later. Aren't I a Libra?
I thought you were a Pisces.
I came out late or early.
Oh.
Yeah.
You came out.
Yeah, I came out. Yay. Thanks, Mom.
No, I love self-taping because when I'm in the room, I will have a tendency to absorb all the energy of what's going on in the room. So if there's nervous people and then there's
it can throw me like
it takes me out of my work. So
yes,
for me, self-taping has been a godsend. I don't want to say I'm not doing 12, 18 takes. Do you know what I mean? I'm still
you do 36 to 49.
Actually, I do 50, but don't tell anybody.
I'm with you.
No, I mean, I'm still I'm trying to keep my takes lower. And the more I'm doing them lately, it's been like 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3, 2 to 3.
I'm better about that now too.
That's a pocket you need to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I am able to give my performance without absorbing, because I would absorb all that energy, get so nervous I couldn't function and shoot myself in the foot.
Oh, I got into that room with James L. Brooks and there's like 10 other people in there.
Yeah.
And Angela from Boston Casting, she's awesome, but I could tell she was a bit, nervous.
Yeah.
She knew it was high stakes.
Yeah.
I was feeling that. I was just like, oh, people in a room. I haven't done this in like ages. That was not ideal for me.
I know.
Anyway,
And,
no
and
excuse.
you know what? Yes, there's the personality thing, and yes, that that's missing, and the interaction and the
Yes.
notes. I mean, it'd be great to get a redirect, but
Mhm.
I'll tell you, for the Christmas movie, I sent in my tapes. The next day, my manager called and she's like, "They want you." They gave me a redirect. They were like, "Can you get it out in the next 2 to 3 hours?" I was like, "Sure." They gave me a redirect. I did it, sent it back. Within an hour after that, they're like, "You're booked." So
Wow.
if they have the time and they want you, they will do that.
They'll make a way to make it happen.
They'll make a way to make it happen. So
I got to check this out. I can't wait to see you in it. I got to make sure I have that channel.
I play Mrs. K. It's only on cable. Like, it's not, you can't stream it. It's a cable thing.
Okay.
And I play Mrs. Kingston.
Mrs. Kingston.
The hair and makeup team were fabulous. I swear to God, they made me look like Olympia Dukakis. I was like,
oh, I can see that.
I was like, oh my God.
I'm glad to see you get those opportunities. Well, because some of those clips you sent, I'm sorry to go on, but like with you as playing sort of the older kind of grandma, it's not you at all. Like, it's acting, but it's so not you. You're just so alive and youthful, and you don't in the least bit seem old. So I'm glad you get to play other things.
But, and I think that because I get called in a lot for older because of the gray hair, I think, right?
Sure.
And that dissonance between my natural energy, which is very youthful.
Yes.
And
you and I together are like, ah.
I know. Look, we've been on this call for like 8 hours.
I know. Oh, it's been 14. Okay.
No. Thank you.
We're getting
I was
there.
nervous. This has been great.
No, you're awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Everyone, go to Callie's website, calliebeaulieu.com, and you'll see lots of clips and photos, and you can just, keep an eye on what she's doing. And go to IMDb as well and look for this Christmas movie, which I'll put a little poster up there. And hang on tight. Everyone, like, share, tell your friends, and watch this episode 17 times. And hold on, Callie. Goodbye.
No small roles. No small roles. Flickaholics.